Thursday, February 2nd. Surety and get-rich-quick schemes. The Bible is very clear that God does not want His children to become responsible for the debt obligations of. In the book of Proverbs, the Lord has warned us against surety, that is, co-signing or being a guarantor for another. Read Proverbs 6:1-5, Proverbs 17:18, and Proverbs 20. Surety usually occurs when a person with poor credit seeks a loan from a lending institution and does not qualify for the loan. The loan officer will tell the unqualified person that if he or she will get a friend with good credit to co-sign, then the bank will grant the loan and hold the co-signer responsible in the event of a default. Sometimes a fellow church member will come to you and ask you to co-sign. Your response should be, "The Bible says I should never do that." Please understand that the Bible encourages us to be helpful to those in need, but we should not become responsible for their debts. Parents are sometimes asked by teenagers to co-sign for the purchase of their first car or older. Adult children will ask parents to co-sign for a business loan. The same answer applies. It is appropriate to help others if there is a real need, but do not become surety for the debts of others. Studies show that 75% of those who co-signed end up making the payments. Read Proverbs 28:20 and 1 Timothy 6:9-10. Get-rich-quick schemes are another financial trap. They are almost guaranteed to lead to financial ruin for those who get caught up in them. When it sounds too good to be true, it surely is. Many people are hurt emotionally and financially. An additional tragedy with these devious plans is that, in many cases, individuals have had to borrow money to become involved in them in the first place. Many lives and families have been ruined by get-rich-quick schemes that end up enriching only the con artists who devise them, at the expense of those who fall into their trap. When a friend, or even a loved one, tries to pull you into one of these schemes, run. Not walk. Run, as fast. Term limits and borrowing points. Read Deuteronomy 15:1-5. What did the Lord require of His people as revealed in these verses? In harmony with other 7-year statutes, Exodus 21:2, Leviticus 25:3, servants in the land were regulated, but also the lender. Because the lenders did not want to forgive any debts, the longest anyone could be in debt was 7 years. Whatever else we can take from these verses, they do show that the Lord cares about these kinds of financial issues, especially whenever. These verses do show also that the Lord acknowledged the reality of debt, no matter how bad it generally was. He also emphasized that it was to be avoided as much as possible. Today, by contrast, many parts of the world have loans for 30 and 40 years for home purchases. It seems that one reason houses cost so much is that credit is available to provide loans to purchase them. Meanwhile, many people, parents, and students wonder about borrowing money. As a rule, getting a college degree will enhance a person's income capability for the rest of his or her life. Some people might have to borrow some money to pay for their education, but keep in mind these factors. You have to pay it back with interest. Try to get all of the grants and scholarships that you can qualify for. Work and save all you can for school. Take only courses that will lead to a job. Have parents. In Bible times, parents gave their children farmland so that they could make a living. Today that inheritance should likely be an education so that they can become independent adults. In an ideal world, there would be no borrowing and no debt. But because we don't live in an ideal world, there might be times when it is necessary to borrow. Just make sure that you have the best deal possible, and the best interest rate available. Then borrow the very minimum that you need, and pay it off as quickly as possible to save on interest costs. In principle, however, to whatever degree humanly possible, we should seek to avoid debt, and by following biblical financial principles in our we can go a long way toward avoiding unnecessary debt and the terrible strain it can put on us and our families. If you have lent people money, how honest and fair and kind are you in your dealings with them? How would you fare before God when you have to answer for those dealings? See Ecclesiastes 12:14. Matthew, a survivor of cancer and stroke, requests that you help spread awareness of severe diseases by publishing this. Please take a moment to subscribe to and like this video.